so that you can follow me while building application. Okay. Is there any trouble while installing Android Studio? I don't think so. It's very easy because it only automatically detects which operating system you have. The only thing you may face is if your system is not up to i5 processor or minimum 8 GB or SSD, then you may face some little infrastructure problem. Everything is fine then. Uh, okay, in the last class, we studied about the basic things with respect to Android application development and how we can use Android Studio and what are the important files that are present in Android Studio. Each and every file we studied, including manifest file, Java file, resource folders, and in resource folder there are several folders like drawable, layout files, strings, okay, and map folders for icon representation. Okay. Meanwhile, we also come across one important thing called Gradle, which is an build automation tool, which is used by Android Studio in order to build your application. Okay, it actually tells what is the minimum SDK you are using, what is the maximum SDK you are using, so where to start the application. Okay, everything that Android Studio need in order to build your application. The Gradle is something which is not under the control of yours. It is actually the Android Studio will work based on the Gradle itself. Okay, so don't bother about the Gradle files. You have to think with respect to manifest file, the Java file, as well as resource folders, whatever the file comes under resource folders. Okay, and you know why manifest we are using, as we know that this is an entry point for an application. So whenever you install any application in your mobile phone, any application, whether it may be a Facebook, YouTube, or anything, the Android operating system, it is going to be, when you click on that application, Android operating system first contact this manifest file. This is the first file which is opened by Android operating system, and based on the configuration things which is present in the manifest, it's go on running which activity first I have to run, after that which activity I have to run, what are the components present within this activity, and what is the activity name. Okay, so including some other things like intents, okay, intents, as well as which one is the main launcher, what is the action with respect to main launcher. So those information actually present in a manifest file, and there exists for writing the code in so that you can work your application based on your requirement. You have Java file. So this is where you are going to write your logic in Java file. And the next file is, as we know that is layout file. Very important thing is, so for building the user interface. So since in the last class I cannot show how we can run an application, because at that time my system also very slow, and when I check that, even I come to know that it was 100% disk usage as well as 100% RAM usage. So what I did is, I upgraded my system. I just borrowed 4 GB extra RAM as well as one SSD hard disk, so that it may increase my speed. Today, when I check this, of course, 1 minute, I'm going to present my, okay. So what I've done is simply I just upgraded my system so that I can work and I can run the application and I can show the output to you. Okay, please, one more thing I want to mention here. Please tell your friends to attend the classes. Otherwise, I have to daily. I'm giving attendance to electronics department and electrical department. Okay, so once I give miss, I cannot change myself also. So that's why if your friend is not attending your mess, he may end up with attendance shortage. That I cannot help in the future classes. Please tell them to attend the classes. Okay, it is mandatory because we have to send the attendance details to VTU itself, since we cannot leave as simply as like that, since it is an online classes. Okay, each and everything we have to record it and we have to send the details to VTU. Okay, for that cases, I'm requesting, if any friends are missing the classes, please do inform them, tell them to attend the classes. Okay, so fine. Yes, I told that I just upgraded my system. Now it is good. Everything is fine. Okay. So now you can check it out. I have a lot of free spaces now. You can check it out. The disk usage is 0. Okay, and including emulator, Android Studio, Google Meet, each and everything, even the Zoom I have opened here since I was in meeting. Everything still my portion of memory utilized is 70%, and CPU utilized is 20%. When I start working, maybe CPU will be get higher because of the involvement of processor in order to execute your application. Okay, so that's why suppose if your system is slow, you can upgrade as have done like that. I just bought 250 GB of SSD hard disk as well as 4 GB of RAM, which actually made my system very fast now. So I can explain you guys with clear cut now. So no problem with executing and showing you a result now onwards. Okay, fine. So now I'll just okay, as you know that since uh, what is that? Yeah. Okay, I think fine. Very fine. So this is very important. In the project file, you have to select Android. By default, it was selected. Okay. Three important things in your two important things in your Android project file. One is application file folders itself. Another one is Gradle Scripts. Okay. So this is not important. Gradle Scripts is an build automation tool which is used by Android Studio itself in order to build your application along with the package so that you can publish your application. Okay. So three important things in Gradle Scripts. One is the project file itself, where you can see what is the minimum SDK version. Okay, what is the minimum and which repository it is using for which Gradle repository it is using. The Gradle repository is based on Google as well as Java. Okay, so you can see that JCenter is from Java and Google Gradle repository. Second thing is module, where you can see if your application is only for mobile, then you will have only configuration required for mobile. If you develop your application for smart watches as well as smart TVs, something like that, then you may have numerous modules like based on what is your target devices. It may be mobile devices, it may be smart watches, or it may be smart TV. Okay, now in my case, it is only for mobile application since I have only one module and that too app. Okay, and you can see the important things like what is your build version and what is your minimum SDK version and what is your target SDK version and what is your application ID. Application ID is the title you given to your application along with a domain name. So I told the importance of domain name in the previous class, right? So meanwhile, one more is settings. Setting is just tells I have to include only the required things with respect to mobile app, not for other things. That's all. Okay. So nothing more than about this Gradle scripts. The more important thing you need to learn with respect to Android project is with respect to app folder. Okay. Here have three important things. One is manifest. Another one is resource folder. Okay. Manifest folder, resource folder, and Java folder. As I told that manifest, so it will consist of all the necessary configuration and functionalities of your application within this manifest. As I told that it is the first file opened by your Android operating system, and it will know now what are the activities present in your application and which file it has to be opened first, which activity will be the launcher activity, and what is the whether the backup is allowed in your application or not, and what is the icon you utilize for your application when installed, and which icon you have to click. Okay, whether it is a round size icon you want to click or whether it is a rectangular size. Okay, there are a lot of configuration and functionalities things that is present with respect to manifest. This is the first file. Okay, next thing is Java file, where you are going to build your logic. Logic means the functionalities based on your requirement in Java programming language for your application. Okay, that too, here I have three folders. One is the first folder, it consists of the application name itself, that is main activity. Okay, where it consists of Java related things, okay, Java code here, okay, and I have explained what are these things in the previous class again and again. It's not necessary. Only this file you need to remember, only this file, okay. These two actually generated by Android itself. You need not to enter anything here, including instrumentation test or including unit test. Only two things you need to do. One is only one thing, that is whatever the code you want to generate into your application, you click on this main activity.java file and do write your code here itself, okay. And one more thing, as I told, that one more important folder in your app is, that is resource folder. Here I have a 4 folders. One is drawable, where if you want to insert some graphics like images, if you want to insert some resources like videos and other maps or something like that, then copy and paste here into this. And one more thing, when you are copy and paste any images or graphics, something like into a drawable folder, please keep that. You must know that the name of any file should be always a small case. It should not consist of any capital letter there, okay. Everything should be small case letters. If you had a capital letter there, then it won't recognize that file. So that's why when you are adding any file into a drawable, okay, please be sure that the name of a file within this drawable, okay, is based on a small case letters, okay. And anyhow, the user interface is always present in a layout folder. The name of a user interface is nothing but activity_main.xml. So 3-way, I already told that 3-way you can build a user interface. One is through using visual editor. There you can drag and drop any views. These things are, we called it as a views. I am going to explain what actually views and what actually view groups and what actually layouts. That is very important for us. Okay, if you understand this, then next class onwards it is easy for you in order to design that, okay. So anything I am mentioning in this palette are nothing but views, okay. Anything in this palette are nothing but views. Some, okay. So view itself a separate object in Java, okay. Everything, whatever if I drag and drop button, it's a separate object in Java. If I drag and drop image button, separate. If I drag and drop this text view or a plain text or password, separate object in Java. Everything is object in Java. That's why Java is an object oriented program, okay. So if you are mentioning something into your user interface, it means it is an object, okay. That may inherit from some other object, or it may inherits to some other object, okay. There may be always exist some class hierarchy, things like parent and child class relationship, okay. So now you please remember, whenever you are writing code in Java programming languages, you just think that, oh, okay, everything I need to think in terms of object, okay. So how object looks like in the real world, the same thing you are going to represent in programming language. That's what happens in Java programming, okay. So you can just drag and drop here, like, so I can see, I can drag and drop some text view here, okay. See, this is my text view. I can simply enlarge my text view, okay. I can write down some of the needed attributes here. The attributes, everything with respect to any view is present here. There are numerous attributes. The important attributes I can explain you. Okay, in the next class, in the coming slide, I can explain you what are the minimum required attributes you need to work with, okay. So I am explaining you that there are 3 ways you can create your user interface. One is through using Visual Studio. As I told that, you can directly get a view and drag and drop the view into the design itself, okay. And you can work with respect to there itself. You need not to write any code. You need not to do anything with respect to either XML coding programming language as well as Java programming language. The other way is, if you don't want to do drag and drop, you can directly write a code here itself using XML programming language. XML programming language always consists of 2 important things. One is Android, it's a standard keyword, and it consists of a property name and a property value, okay. So every view starts with like this, with you in order to create any view. Suppose I want to build one more button, simply you click, you write like this, okay. So suppose I want to build button, okay. one more thing I want to remember, I want to put information here is your Android Studio IDE comes with Intellisense. That means it always predicts what you are going to enter in future or what you want to enter into your application. Okay. Suppose you need not to type each and everything here. You need not to type each and everything. Suppose I know I want to enter button, right? If you know that button always starts with capital B. If you type just capital P and U, automatically the predicted word it comes here is button. You simply type enter here. Okay, automatically it will write the necessary code with respect to your thinking. Okay, so and also it will predict what exactly the value you can put there. Either you can put match parent or wrap content. Wrap content means within the content my within the space my button is present. Okay, I always use wrap content. This is how you can write the code in XML. Okay, in XML. So for every example, if you put slash, it will close the button. Okay, see now my button is also closed. Still I have an error. So what is that error? You can just, if you find any error, you can click here and you can provide the feedback of this warning. You can check it out. What is that actual error warning? Okay, you can suppress it by typing something like that. Okay, so you can check it out. Now I have added one more button. See, in visual editor I have not added this, but through code I have added. Now so that's why I have a button appeared here. Okay, two way you can write it, and the one more way is through Java itself you can create user interface directly here itself. Okay, that is also possible. So now you know all those things. Okay, let us come to the directly very important topics now onwards. Okay, so I think, is it visible, right? What I'm showing here, everything is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now we are going to learn very important things that are layouts and resources for the user interfaces. Okay, the first thing, there are three important things you need to learn while building a user interface. One is views. Okay, one is views, another one is view groups, another one is layouts. Okay, three important things you need to learn. Okay, after that we are going to use one application in order to understand how we can handle the events. Okay, so views, I already told that in this Android Studio, if you go to layout, so whatever the component is there in an user interface, whatever the components, I'm telling, whatever the components that is present in a palette, okay, there may be exist 100 components. Okay, so whatever the components are there, which acts as a components or which acts as a functionalities with respect to your user interface, these are all called views. Okay, it may be text view, it may be plain text, edit view, it may be password, or it may be button, it may be image button, it may be chip, checkbox, radio group, radio button, even some widgets like calendar, progress bar, seed bar, rating bar. Okay, everything within your user interface, whatever the components you are going to put in, with respect to your user interface is called as views. Okay, so let us come to the views. Okay, first, as I told that, is it visible, right? Okay, if you look at your mobile device, if you open any application in your mobile device, like whether it may be Facebook, whether it may be any other, like, see, if I open any application in your mobile device, see, have so many things, right? I will open what, okay, YouTube. Okay, I'll open YouTube. Okay, anything in your mobile device, any component, whether it may be a button, whether it may be a text view, whether it may be a layout, either anything is nothing but a view in your application. Okay, if you simply open Instagram application in your mobile device, okay, so you can see that, so the whatever the image that is present in your Instagram, it is an view. What is the text name of some text that is present in your application, that is also a view. Okay, uh, And suppose if you open message, whatever is there, the phone number information, that is also where some button is there. In order to click, if you click that button, the message will be sent to somebody, right? That is also view. Everything in your application, in the component which is used to represent the user interface element, that is nothing but it is a view. Okay, so view is a subclass. View subclass are basic user interface building blocks. Okay, so I told that there are numerous components are there in order to build an user interface elements, right? Like text view, plain text, password, everything. And I told that everything is an object in your Java programming language. So that's why. So whatever I represent, the view nothing but text view for editing, edit text, for representing button, menus, or something. Everything is a subclasses to a class called view. Okay, subclasses to a class called view. What it will do is it is going to inherit all the properties and behavior of view along with its own properties and behavior. Text view will have all the properties and behavior of this view class, and have and also it is will have its own properties and behavior. That's what the inheritance nothing but. Okay, so there are numerous views you may come across while building application. There are so many views you are going to use, that is user interface elements. Okay, so this is how it looks like. The button looks like this. So every views represents the rectangular box like structure. So you can see, even though I may have, I'm going to close this. I don't need it. Okay, even though I may change the shape of this by using some any some. Okay, I can make it some different shapes here. Okay, if you see the blueprint, if you see the blueprint, see this is the blueprint. Okay, so whatever the view I'm going to include into your application, everything, it's a rectangular box like structure. See, this is also rectangular box structure. It is an button. It is a button. It is a rectangular box structures. It is a text view. It is also rectangular box text structure. This is also a text view. It is a rectangular. Suppose if I use radio button. Okay, assume I am going to use radio button. You know that radio button is a round like structures, and you can see the blueprint. It is also rectangular like structures. Okay, so all views are rectangular like structures. So whether see, if you use switch also, it is a rectangular. Radio button also you can see in the blueprint. Okay, and I told that each views will have numerous attributes. The attributes are represented in the right side of your Android Studio. These are all nothing but attributes. And for every, suppose if I select this button, certain attributes you need to remember. One is the ID, which represents the unique identification of this particular button. Okay, unique. There may be presence of numerous buttons in your application. Suppose when you are coding in your Java, you need to know which button I have to write a code. Okay, which button, if I click that, this code has to be executed. In order to remember that, you always give some unique name to each and every buttons, right? So the unique name always represented in an attribute called ID. Okay, please remember. So whatever the unique name you are going to give here, that should be used in your Java in order to write a code, or in order to handle the events. Okay, whether it may be listening of events, whether it may be handling of events, something like that. Okay, and next important attributes are like text. I'm going to show you some of the important attributes here. Okay, some you need to remember. See, okay, here one more is text. Whatever you type it here, okay, help me. So the same thing is going to be appear on the button. See here. So whatever the text I am going to enter here, the same thing is going to be appear in the button. So one more important thing you need to remember here is, along with ID, the thing is what is the text you want to enter into your you want to show on the top of the button. Okay, text, and also something like text color, something like text font, text style. Okay, there are numerous attributes. See, you may find numerous attributes. Each and everything is important. Orientation on click, what happens, what event it has to be executed, orientation, whether it may be a horizontal orientation or vertical orientation, padding. Okay, inside how much padding I need. Okay, rotation X. Okay, I want to rotate some 2 dp. Okay, some 20 dp. You start rotated. See, start rotated like that. With respect to ROI, and in terms of X and Y, how much scaling I need it. Okay, so whatever the modification you do in the attribute, the same thing also recorded with respect to what, the same thing also recorded with respect to what, in XML also. Okay, in XML, if you do modify anything here in the design, the automatic code of XML is generated here. Okay, or if you generate your own code here, okay, if you generate your own code here, suppose I want to make it as a vertical orientation. Okay, simply type orientation. Okay, automatically it will bring the necessary information. What I do is, I want to make it as a vertical orientation, I have added here, and you can check it out here. Okay, so now what I do is, okay, so same thing is changed here also. Okay, the same. See, if you go to orientation, you can check it out. The code is modified here. The code is modified here like that. Okay, I want to change the image of foreground. For example, I'm going to use this. Okay, see, the foreground has changed with respect to this. So everything is possible with respect to so suppose you want to add some values into your attribute, sorry, views, you can add it through the attributes. Okay, either in the form of design, or either in the form of what, either in the form of so I don't want any foreground, so I'm going to remove it, so you can check it out. So completely it is removed. Okay, so some of the important attributes you need to remember is, one is color, dimension, positioning, where it exactly presents. Okay, and it may be respond to some click or not. Okay, maybe it is visible to somebody or not. Okay, sometime I just need some data from user side, I don't want to display something, then you can make it as a usable or not visible. And is there any relationship to other views? Suppose if I click some button, is there EditText is going to take input from some side or not? Okay, all these things, attributes you can record here. Okay, and I told that 3 ways you can create view. One is through Android Studio Layout and XML editor and Java code. I already explained you everything. Okay, no need of anything. Okay, so in Java like this you can create. Okay, in activity, everything is a class. Okay, create an object with respect to that class. Okay, you know how to create an object with respect to that class. And after that, if you want to display some information, use something called set text. Something called set text. Okay, it is going to display some information. This is pure Java code. Okay, you can create your own views also. There are the 100 views are there different. You can create your own views. That is called. Okay, next thing is view group. View group. Okay, so suppose I just I come to here. Okay, I can have only one view with respect to here, right? So, but suppose I want to build some application that is similar like an Instagram. Okay, similar like an Instagram, or some similar like an YouTube. I don't understand why YouTube is not opening that. Okay, some similar like you can see in YouTube, right? There may exist some numerous videos. You can simply scroll up and down, so you can, so that you can view numerous videos, right, in the YouTube. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, right. So it means that it is not consist of only single view element, right? It may consist of numerous view elements, and again the same view element may repeated itself, right? Same view element. For example, you may have a video, and you may have some text with respect to video, and you may have some button to click on that video. Okay, like that the same thing happens with respect to another video, some respect to other video, another video, like that. You may go on scrolling up and down so that you may view numerous recommended videos in the YouTube. Like in Instagram also, you can view numerous photos and some shared images and videos from your friends circles or some other public circles. Everything is possible, right? So we can put the combination of views or the groups of view within one separate view. So then we are going to call that particular view as a view groups. Okay, so view groups always consists of what? It consists of a group of elements within your user interface. It always consists of group of elements. Okay, so view group itself, it's a child views. Okay, view group itself is child views. So the structure looks like this. Okay, structure is you may have in top the group class called view group. Inside that you may have view group again, and you may have multiple views. See, so there are a lot of view groups are there. Some of the important view groups are constraint layout, scroll view, and recycler view. This recycler view is similar like Instagram and YouTube, how it will work. Okay, you have some scroll. Inside that the scroll may also repeated again and again. It means this is what nothing but recycler view. Okay, and you have a scroll view. Suppose some information that has to be put in within some width and height, and if the information is more than that width and height, you can scroll inside that position only, so that you can view complete information. That's what I can do it in scroll view. And constraint layout means you want to position your elements like a views or a UI elements by giving some constraints, so that it can fit according to the place where you want to fit it in your user interface. So you are giving the constraints to each and every side of your element, so that it will always fit with respect to fit with some distance, or fit with respect to some position with respect to other element, as well as your particular parent view. Okay, so that's what you can do it in constraint layout. I'm going to show how you can position any element using constraint layout, as well as how you can put elements with respect to linear layout as well as relative layout. These three things are very important. So only I am going to focus on these three things. Okay. So, and next thing is layouts. Okay. So I may have see, layouts are nothing but these are also a specific types of view groups, and we can see it is a subclasses of view group. In layout, you can even put view group also within the layout, or we can put some groups of views also within the layout. Okay, it always consists of child views. Okay, it can be you can put user interface elements either in a row, either in a column, either in a grid level, either in a table level, or either absolutely wherever you want to put it. Okay, so you may see like calendars, you may see something like a calculator, you may come across something like you may have 9 buttons which represents the numerical values, and 0 button. Along with that, you may have operators like plus, minus, everything. Okay, each and every button are positioning in some space in your user interface, so that they always position according to some other elements also with respect to your parent also. It means that I may have a numerous buttons and also text views within a single group. Okay, that is what represents the layouts. Okay, layouts, you can arrange your views in a row, column, grid level, table level, or absolutely simply wherever you want to put information. Okay, normally views looks like this. It is a linear layout. You can arrange UI elements within your user interface either in a horizontal manner or a vertical manner, one by one. Linear means it is your elements are placed in a linear manner, either in a horizontal way or vertical way. So what constraint layout will do is it is going to position any view with respect to constraints with respect to the other element that is present within the view. Okay, and also with respect to a parent, that is a parent. Okay, So that's what constraint layout is going to be. Here you are going to mention the constraints with respect to your user interface element that we called it as a view. Okay, with respect to other views, it may be I may have a button here, I may have one more button here, I may have a text view here. Okay, and this text view always displayed in this position only, so that what I do is I am going to mention the constraint from year to year, so that the distance between this button and this button is always this. Okay, this button has to be present on the upper side, and this thing always present on the downside of this one, so that these are the constraints I am going to mention within this layout. Okay, so that the positioning is very important for each and every views I am going to place within a layout. Okay, this is a grid layout. Each and every element presents in the form of grids. Okay, something like a calendar where each grid represents the days. Each grid represents the days, and within the grid I may have several information like text views, the edit text options, some other things. Okay, and table layout, representation in the form of table, something I can utilize calendar also, and also I can do it some calculator operation also in the table layout. Okay, any doubt in this layout? Any doubt in this layout, view and view group? Because this is the important part of user interface, and I will explain with one example how we can create views, view groups and layouts. Any doubts in this? Any doubts? I can go to next slide. No doubt, right? Thank you, Priyanshu. Okay, as I told that the common layout classes we are going to use for our user interfaces: constraint layout, linear layout, relative layout. This table layout and frame layout we are not going to use. Don't bother about those things. This arrangement is completely row and column here. Stack like one, you place one thing. After that, you are going to place one thing. After that, you are going to place one thing like that. This is frame layout. In constraint layout, you connect views with respect to constraints, as I told that how to provide the constraints. Linear layout means placing one after the other, or placing one side after the other side. Okay, either in a horizontal manner or a vertical manner. Okay, so the views are placed in a linear form, one after others. Okay, in relative layout, what happens here also, you are going to mention the constraints. In relative layout also, you are going to mention the constraints, but the constraint is always with respect to child views. Constraints is always with respect to other view, not with respect to the parent or not with respect to other things. Okay, the views, the constraint is always with respect to the other view that is present within the layout. Okay, you may have present numerous elements within your layout, right? And the constraint always plays with respect to other element rather than the parent. So that's what relative layout. Today I'm going to show how we can create a constraint layout and how we can create a views within a constraint layout by providing a constraints, and how we can create a relative layout, and how we are going to create views within a relative layout and linear layout. Three things we are going to learn today. Okay, hands-on. These three things in Android Studio we are going to work on. Next thing, these are all I already explained again and again, not necessary. This is the hierarchy of class, how it looks like that, and I told that the parent class of all the elements of your user interface. Elements means anything, button, text view, everything. The view is nothing but elements. Okay, view is nothing but elements. The parent is always a view group. A view group may be ScrollView, RecyclerView, or any layouts like constraint layout, linear layout, anything is possible. Okay, within the view group I may have one more view group I can add. Okay, within constraint layout I may have one more relative layout, or within relative layout I may have one scroll view, or I may have recycler view. Everything is possible. So that's why the parent is always view group. Within that I may have one more view group or many views, the groups of views. That's what we can do it in a user interface things. Okay, this is how the structure with respect to view group looks like this. This is hierarchy. The parent is always a view group, and child may be either view group or a view. Okay, within view I may not have a view group, that you need to remember. Manoj Srinidhi, okay, within view I don't have any view group. Okay, so within view group I may have a view group. I can create an object class within view group, one more view group, but I cannot create a class within a view that is view group. Okay, So this is how hierarchy looks like. I have a view group, that is linear layout is a view group, and I have three views. One is button view, text view, and button view. See, this is how it user interface looks like that. So within one view group, I may have three views present within that, and the hierarchy will looks like that. I have a view group on the top, that is linear layout, and I have three views. One is button view, text view, and button view. But within button view, I may not have one more button view or anything. Views cannot be further inherited. Only view group can be further inherited. That you need to remember. Within button, I cannot place one more button. That you need to remember here. Anybody, all of you understood this thing? All of you understood? Yes, very good. Okay. So in component tree, it looks like this. This is what component tree is nothing but. See, this is the component tree. I have view group on the top. Okay, I have a lot of views present within this view group. Okay, so this is the hierarchical structure. In the top, I have a view group called constraint layout, and I have 5 buttons here. One is text view. Sorry, 5 views. One is text view, button view, one more button view, one more text view, and radio button. And you can see the what do we say, blueprint. You can see all the things here. The top, this is nothing but constraint layout. See, if I click this constraint layout is see, is it whatever I'm showing here, is it visible for you guys, the constraints layout and everything? Or I need to zoom this Visual Studio so that you can understand more? Is it? Oh, okay, fine. It is visible, man. Then it is good. Okay. See, if I click the something like this, the mark actually look the content is go to the constraint layout in a component tree. So if I click this button, see, you can see that the same thing. The visibility is actually with respect to a button called help me in a component tree. Suppose if I click this radio button, see, the visibility is with respect to a radio button in a component tree. Okay. So these are the things. So how to create a component linear layout? Okay, how to create a linear layout? Suppose assume I'm going to delete each and everything present here. I'm going to delete each and everything present here. Okay, or suppose I'm going to create a new application. Let us start from a new application, then you will understand. Okay, so as I told that I'll start with empty. I don't want any pre-recorded coding in my application. Just it has to be completely empty. So that's why I choose empty here. And my target device is phone, and I have choose empty activity. And I'm going to give my name as my application. Or you can create your own. Okay. What I do is this is my first application, right? I'm going to make it as a first application, first app. Okay, first app. And this is very important, the package name. Okay, so what I do is, for unique understanding, what I do is I'm going to make it as my company name. I have my own company, software company. So what I do is I'm going to include my company name. Okay, and the name of the app itself, first app. Okay, so this is unique because nobody can utilize that my domain name, right? infocloud.com, nobody can utilize it. Okay, so that's why I can easily publish in a Google Play Store, because the identification is always unique. Nobody can utilize my domain name. So that's why for providing the unique name to your package and you want to publish in a Google Play Store, then this name is important, rather than this name is not at all important. Okay, and my programming language is Java. Okay, and the minimum SDK I'm going to use is I start with minimum SDK is Lollipop, and it may, as I told that, 94.1% of devices will work with respect to my application. Okay, so I'm going to finish this. Okay, so I'm going to close the previous example. So once you've done that, you have to wait here until you get a message called Gradle Sync finished. Until that, you have to wait. See, since my system is now very speed, within 8 seconds the Gradle has finished. Maybe if your system is very slow, it may take some more time. So okay, don't hurry until you get a message that Gradle Sync finished. Okay, when you get a message, then the minimum things present like here. Okay, and now I don't want to do any activities in my Java. So what I do is I'm going to build some user interface. You know where to you build some user interface? There is a folder called layout. Within that I have a file called activity underscore main.xml. Okay, click on that. Okay, so I have two things here. One is actual design and another one is a blueprint. Since I don't need this blueprint, I will select only design. Okay, now onwards I will have only one part. See, you can check whether you need a blueprint also, you can do it. If you need only design, you can select here. I just need a design. Sorry, I just need a design. What I do is I'll select design. Okay, now I have a design here and I have a palette here, where in this palette the many views, there may be 100 views are present. Okay, I can views, view groups and layouts, everything is present within this palette. Okay, and this is an component tree which represents the hierarchy of different classes. In the top I have a view group class called Constraint Layout. In the down, which is a child to this class, that is, it is a view called TextView. Okay, so two important element present in my user interface. One is TextView, another one is Constraint Layout. Okay, so for since you are not capable to see anything in this design, right, what I do is I'm going to slightly change the color of this particular Constraint Layout. How to change? Of course, if you click on that, you may see that the actual visibility is with respect to Constraint Layout, right? And you may have a numerous attributes here. What to do? You just change the color of this attribute. So what I do is I'm going to change the foreground color. Okay, foreground color. Where is that color? If you don't find anything, what you do, you just in attribute, you just search something here like color or something like that. Okay. Okay, you may find that the necessary things. Okay, what I do is I'm going to select some color here. Okay, now you can see that color I have. Okay, and I am just enlarging this thing. Okay, I'm enlarging this text view, and you want to change that text view attribute also. For example, I can simply edit the code itself. I have a hello word here. Okay, in my text view. Okay, and I want to change the size of that so that anybody can see that. So you know how to change that size. Simply find type size. You may come with some help from the Android Studio itself. I need to change the text size, right? Simply change the text size. There are only two ways you can change it. One is DP and SP. DP means image related, SP means text related. What I do is I'm going to make it as 36 SP. Okay, now you can see here in design, now it is changed. And you want to change the color also, you may change the color. Okay, what I do is I will change to white. Okay, text color. So I don't know the what is my attribute name. So what I do is simply if I type color, I come with the actual required attribute. So what I do is I'm going to make it as f f f f. Okay, so what exactly it means it's a white color. Okay, one more f I have to put. You can see it has not come. Yeah, it is changed to white color. Let us see what happened. I don't need anything. Yeah, it is changed now. Okay, you can check it out here. Okay, you can drag and drop anything. You can see the user interface. Okay, so two ways you can change it. Component tree. Now what I do is I want to explain how to create a layouts and how to create a buttons and other things, right? So what I do, I will delete each and everything present here. I don't need this. What I do is I will delete. Okay, and now we have just a very simple thing called constraint layout. So you can see that the constraint layout, only one thing is there, that is view group, that is constraint layout. How to add any layout into your XML code? You don't want to simply not to add any layout into your user interface. Simply what you have to do is go to layout. There you can find constraint layout, linear layout in an horizontal manner, linear layout in a vertical manner, a frame layouts, that is frame by frame, a table layout, a table rows, everything. You just drag and drop here, it will create a layout. Since I already have one layout here, okay, so I don't need to drag and drop anything. The constraint layout is already there. Okay. Many layouts. The constraint layout is that. Now, I told that if I had any element to the constraint layout, I have to specify constraints with respect to positioning of that element in a constraint layout, right? So how? Suppose I want to have one button in this constraint layout. So what I do is I am going to drag and drop a button directly. Okay, sorry, button. Okay, I'm going to drag and drop a button here. If I drag and drop a button here, okay, it's simply present here. If I run the application, I don't know exactly where this button is present if I run this application. So what I have to do is, see, let us run this and we will see, okay, I have a button here, right? What I do, I can edit this button parameters. Suppose button is uh, click here. Okay, button is what? Click here. Just I am editing the parameter of this button. Click here, and I want to change the color of this button. Okay, where you can find, so there are numerous things are there, you have to find the color. Okay, text color. What I do is I'm going to make it as a red color. Okay, and I even change the text size. Now it is just 14 sp. I'm going to make it as 34 sp. You can see. Okay, I simply, even though I'm representing this button in a center of this screen, but I have not mentioned any constraints, right? Any constraints. If I run this, you will see, if I run this application, you know how to run. You will have a one button called this triangular. Okay, if you click on that, if your AVD is installed, automatically some emulator will open and it will start running your application. Okay, is it visible running of this application? Emulator is visible?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So you will get some message here. Until that, you have to wait. Okay, see something called executing. Grade build is running now. So when you get a message grade build finished, then your application appears here. We will wait until you will get a message called grade build finished. Okay, so still executing. So once you execute it, you will get a message grade build finished with 0 errors or some errors. Okay, so you may, in order to see that what is happening with respect to your mobile, you can check it out here. You can check it out here. Okay, so the whatever the errors are present, anything, everything is recording here. See, in this logcat, everything is recording. So this is helpful in our, see now as I got a message grade invocation is finished with 0 error. Now your application opened. Now you just come to a very important thing. See, I have created a button in the center of the screen. Since I have not mentioned any constraints, see, this button actually moved to the top of the screen. So you, if you don't mention any constraints in the with respect of positioning, okay, So you cannot exactly expect your button to be present in the same position where you have created initially in your application. So that's why for perfect design in a constraint layout, you have to specify the constraints with respect to positioning of any elements, or with respect to positioning of the element with respect to other element. So how to mention the constraints? Now I'll come to you. All of you seeing the output, right? So output is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay, thank you. See, now I'm going to mention this constraints here. How to mention the constraints? You can check it out. The constraints always, if you click on any button within a constraint layout, you can check it out, the constraints here. So you can directly mention constraints here itself. Okay, here itself, if you click on this button, directly the constraints are mentioned, and it has to appears exactly center. What you have to do is, you have to type 0 here, you have to type 0 here, you have to type 0 here, you have to type 0 here. Now your button is present exactly in center. Let us run and see what happened. Now I have mentioned the constraint with respect to all 4 position here. I'm going to run this application again. I'm going to run this. Now again the grade build running is started. Okay, launching activity. Now again it is launched activity. See exactly where my positioning of this button is there, at the same position. Even when I run this application also, the button is presented here. So that's how you can specify the constraints with respect to each and every element. If you are creating a views or an elements, user into element within a constraint layout, you need to remember. Okay, another way you can mention, I don't want to mention anything, simply like this. Okay, now again you can drag and drop here. What you have to do is, please carefully see here, click on this upper side and directly drag it there. Okay, like that. Click on the downside and directly drag it here. Click on this left side, directly drag it up to the end. Click on this right left side, directly drag up to the end. Now exactly I have mentioned each and every corners constraint here. See, you can see now exactly everything is mentioned. So if I rerun, exactly in center my application is present. I will reopen my app. Okay, see exactly in center my application. See, two way you can present the constraint. One is directly by putting values in the constraint widget, or directly drag and drop the all the 4 sides within the design itself. All of you understood how to present the constraints? You need one more example? You need one more example? Anybody? Yes or no? That's enough? Or do I mention with one more element within the constraint layout? Okay, what I do is, I'm going to add one more element. I'm going to add TextView here. So I want to add TextView before this button. So what I do is, I just drag and drop this TextView, and you know how to present the parameter into TextViews. In TextView, what I do is, I'm going to see, it's very okay. I'm going to add some of the important parameters here. So in TextView, my first app. Okay, I'm going to type my first app. Okay, and I'm going to change the color of this TextView. It should be in blue. Okay, it should be in blue. If you don't know the color, you can drag into any colors. It will directly bring the particular ID of that color. And I want to change the size also. I'm going to make it as 3634 sp. Okay, so whenever if it is in text, it should be 34 sp. Okay, okay. So now whatever the things I needed with respect to text, I have added. Now my task is to provide the constraints with respect to this, right? So how to provide the constraints? I told that I can provide the constraints with respect to year also, constraint widget, or with respect to year. Okay, what I do is, my application should be exactly present here. Okay, and this is how I can present the constraints. Okay, this is how I can present. See, a constraint is present with respect to this element. Okay, constraint is present with respect to side. and constraint is present with respect to side, and constraint is present with respect to top. Okay, now exactly I have presented the constraints. Okay, now I'm going to run this. Okay, now I'm going to run this. You can check it out in the app. In my constraint layout, I have two important views or two important elements. Launch aggregate. See, they're exactly in the same location. Everything is present in your. I think everybody understood the constraint layout, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, very good. Then next thing is I'm going to explain how I can create a relative layout. Okay, so what I do is again I'm going to delete each and everything. Relative layout. Okay, see. Okay, delete it. Okay, nothing. I have just constraint layout. You can directly add relative layout here only, or you can write down the code itself by changing the relative layout. What I do is, okay, what I do is I don't want anything something like this. Okay, if you put relative layout directly here, okay, if you bring relative layout directly here, sorry. So what I do is I just I'm going to make it as a relative layout. Okay. Okay, I just make it as the relative layout. Okay, in relative layout, I just need only two things. One is layout width and layout height. It has to be match parent only. Match parent in the sense, see, if you go to the design, okay, whatever the position is there, everything should be. This is the parent component. Okay, if I mention match parent means the layout present within this layout within this size only. Okay, within this parent size only. It is not go behind this size, or it is not go behind in either in the height also, either in the side also. Okay, so now this is how you can create a relative layout. Okay, main activity. Okay, everything I have mentioned. Okay, so I have an error here. I can change the error. The one way is you can see there are some other element I need to mention, that is height and width as well as other things. Okay, other way of creating relative layout is simply, okay, what I do is I am not going to change anything. Okay, you can check it out. Now it is changed to relative layout, right? Now it is changed to relative layout. This is how one way of changing the code. Another way is everything should be present similar like in the previous, that is constraint layout only. Now you can see I have a constraint layout. Just click right button on this constraint layout. You can see there is something called convert view. There is something called converted view. Is it visible, sir? You can change font style as well, right? Yes, of course, font style as Manoj, you can change your font style into bold, italic, anything is possible, Manoj. Yes, it is possible. See, I will show you how to change the font style also in the next coming example. Okay, so if you click on that constraint layout, if you right click on that, you may see that convert view, right? Click on that convert view. There you can change this constraint layout into any layout like linear layout, relative layout. Now my task is to change to relative layout, right? I am going to select the relative layout and I'm going to apply it here. Now my constraint layout is changed to relative layout, and you can add text view here. Okay, you can add text view here. Okay, so in relative layout it won't present exactly where your application where your element should be present here. So one thing you have to put it here, you have to specify constraints here. I cannot have a constraint widget here with respect to relative layout. Relative layout always presents the constraints with respect to height and width, only one side of the height and one side of the width. What you do is first you select the right side here and just drag the line up to the right side. Okay, select the downside and drag the line to the downside. Now you just in the constraint layout you have to specify constraints with respect to all four sides, right? But in relative layout you just the constraint should be relative. Okay, the only two sides you need to present. Now you just drag and drop the component wherever you need. See, I just resize this component. Now I am going to drag and drop wherever I need. See, suppose my view should be present here. Okay, so I have drag and drop here, and as Manoj asked, I can change even the font style also. What I do is I am going to change the text within that. Here also I am going to make it as my first tab. Okay, my first tab. Okay, and I'm changing the color to some blue only, of course blue only. Okay, and you need make it as all caps. Yes, true. Okay, everything is in a capital letter now, and I want to change the size of the text. Yes, it is 34 sp. I have changed, and I need to make it bold, right? Yeah, let us go to the font family. You ask for changing the style, right? Go to the style. Yeah, you can come here, text style. It is normal. What I do is I'm going to make it as a bold. Okay, I'm going to make it as a bold now. So now it is bold, or even I need italic also. I can change to bold and italic now. Got it, Manoj? Manoj? Yes, fine. Okay, now I'm going to see, you can drag the wherever you want to put your heading, you can drag and drop directly there. And suppose if I want to add one more element, again directly it will go to the top. What you have to do is only two constraints you need to mention in relative layer, this side and this side. Once you mention that color as filled within that circle, now you can drag and drop wherever you want. Okay, just change the size and color, you will understand now. Okay, button this one. Okay, make it as it is also bold. Okay, and I need to change the text thing related things. You can search it here, and I can change to 34. Okay, and button itself. Okay, that's enough for me. Okay, I'm going to run this application. You will see. Okay, exactly it will present in the same location where I have put my button and first tab. Okay, see, I'm going to run this. Wait until you will get a message called grade finished. So now I got it, launch succeeded. See, this is present in the top and this is present in the bottom. This is a only two side constraints you have to provide in a relative layout. Okay, got it, all of you? How to put elements in relative layout? Yes, very good. Now one more layout I'm going to explain, that is linear layout. Okay, linear layout. So in linear layout you are not going to put any constraints, just your component should be linear to each other. Okay, linear to each other, whether it may be horizontal orientation or vertical orientation. Just you know how to change through XML code you have to change, or through convert view you can change it. I'm going to make it as linear layout, and orientation is horizontal. Okay, you can change the orientation directly here also in a attribute. Okay, it is presently horizontal. I can make it as vertical also, the orientation. See, if you go on putting any text views, the text views always present one by one in an horizontal manner. See, in an horizontal manner. If you go and check it out, if I run this application, I have 4 text views. Okay, just change the each text view size, you will understand. Okay, text view size. Okay, (34 SP). For this also I will change to 34 SP. This also I will change to 34 SP. It's also I will change to 16 SP. Okay. Now if I run this application, you can see that your arrangement is in a horizontal manner. So one by one. Okay, after this one I have this one, I have this one, I have this one. The same thing you can make it as in vertical manner also. I can simply change the orientation now. You can change it in a code also, the orientation. See, it is my linear layout, and I'm going to make it as a orientation, that is orientation. It will bring directly the Android orientation. Okay, so what I do is I'm going to change it as vertical. I'm explaining you both in a code manner, that is XML manner, as well as design manner. I told that 3-way we can build any user interfaces. Now you can check it out in design. So arrangement is 1 by 1 in a vertical manner. If I run this, you can see the output. Terminate, and you will get a learn succeed message. See, my arrangement is 1 by 1. So you can see in YouTube and in Instagram, the layouts are arrangement in terms of what we say, that linear layouts. Okay, so each application, first you see how your design looks like, and which constraint layout, which layout is actually best fit for your application, so that you use that as a view group. Okay, then you go and add your elements in the sense views into your application. So all of you got it, how to create a layouts and views in your user interface. You need still more examples? Understood, right?
Yes, sir.
Very good, very good. Thank you. So this is how you can create numerous things. You can create layouts in Java also. This is the code you can use in order to create Java. And I know I told that everything is an object. Everything in Java is an object. Okay, everything is Java. So in order to create any layout, give some name. Is there a scrollable layout? Yes, we have a scrollable. It is not a layout. It is a view group. Okay, I may have elements. I can put it within a scroll layout. Within a layout. Okay, I can show you that one also. See, what I do is I'm going to remove this. I'm going to remove 2 buttons. Okay, now within the layout, linear layout, I'm going to put some containers. That is nothing but scroll view container. It is acts as a container. Okay, that is scroll view. Okay, and I'm going to change the size here, scroll view size. Okay, okay, so these two are first two are text views, and the below thing is scroll view, and within scroll view I may have one more layout, that is linear layout. One more thing I want to thank you for asking this question. Every scroll view I can put only one element within that, Manoj. In any scroll view I can put only one element. Suppose I want to put more views in a scroll, means it is not at all possible, right? According to the rules of scroll view, I can put only one layout. Okay, sorry, one view within that scroll view. So then suppose in my scroll I want to put some text, and also I want to put some button. So then only it will be better for my requirement. Then if that is the case, what we have to do is, we know that I can put only one view within the scroll view. So what we do is, inside always every scroll, inside we are going to put one more layout. All of you got this? Inside that we will always put one more layout. See, just remember the hierarchy. Within one view group I may have one more view group also. Got it? Since scroll view is also a view group, I can put one more view group. Okay, within this layout I can put buttons also. I can put buttons within this layout. See, within this layout I can put button. I have a linear layout. Okay, and within this linear layout I can put button. See, you can have a button here within this. Okay, so it is in a since it is in linear layout, I can have even relative layout also here. What I do is I will change to relative layout. You know what happens in relative? If I change to relative layout, two things are very important. Okay, one is just what I do is my size, I'll change the, okay, I'll remove and I'll add. Okay, don't worry. I'm going to add button to this relative layout. Okay, now I have a button. in button, in order to bring the element into your position, what you have to do is you have to put two constraints. Okay, two constraints within the scroll view. Okay, see, I can bring it now. I can bring it now. Within the button, I may have one more button called image button also. In image button, I can add one avatar. Okay, so this is my image button. Okay, so you know that in scroll view you have to require to mention two constraints. Okay, so now what I do is I'm first there is a button. Okay, after that there is an image. Okay, this is my scroll view. I can scroll and I can put any information. I have three things here. One is a linear layout. Within that I have a two text views, and I have one more called scroll view, and within that I have a layout. Since we know that I cannot put I can put only one view within a scroll view, since I want to put two views means I have to utilize the idea that within a scroll I will put one layout, and within layout I can put any number of views. Okay, let us run this. You'll understand. Terminate. Okay, you can check it out. This is text view, and this is nothing but it is a scroll view. Within that I have a button and I have some image. Since I have not added any images here, okay, you can add image also here. Suppose this is in code drawable, right? Where is my image? Image button I have. Since I have not mentioned any value for that, what I do is I'm going to mention value. Okay, so uh, simply I'll put like this. Rather than background, I'll put some image itself. Okay, I have put some image, right? Again, I'll run. Okay, we'll see what happened now. See, this is how you can put a scroll wave. Sir, one more example. Okay, so Manoj and Anuradha, you understood how we can include. Sir, I don't have network in my home. Now I am outside the home. Now it's raining. I need to go inside. Sir, please, you can go. Where are you, man, Saurabh? In Bangalore, it is not raining. Okay, Tirthali, and you have a very good location. Enjoy, man. Enjoy the raining. Okay, so this is how you can create and work with respect to any user element, user interface elements. Okay. Okay, these things are parameters. I know how to. These are all we come across. Okay. So layout editors we come across. We can put everything along with my notes. You can also refer this. Now next important thing is event handling. Okay, let us go to one more thing, event handling. Okay, let us come to the event handling. So what is nothing but events? Events means, see, I have a button here, right? I have a button. If I click this button, something has to happen, right? Some events have to happen. How? Suppose if I click this button, some information has to be displayed, or it has to go to some other activity, or it has to get a information. You may see there are a lot of login forums, right? In EditText, in two important field, you may get some. See, let us go to some examples here. Okay, see, I have one application here. That is, if I click here, I can enter some information, right? I can enter. Suppose what I do is Android. What I'm doing is I'm going to enter some Android. Okay, and if I press enter, some event is going to be happen. What is that event? Google is going to search this keyword in its huge amount of data repositories present throughout the world, okay, and it is going to bring the necessary information what exactly it needed. See, I have get a recommendation. What I do is I'm going to click on this. If I click this, it is going to bring some of the information that is present in the world with respect to the actual requirement, right? See, this is what happens. So event means I'm going to give some value. Okay, I'm the person who is raising the event. Okay, Google is the person who is listening my event, and Google is the another person who is going to handle the event by providing the necessary information, right? So that's what is that happening. So this is what event handling in Android is nothing but. See, so if you press on this button, okay, let us go to our application. Our application. Where is my application? See, this is my application, right? This is my application. Sorry, this is not my application. What is that? First tab is my application, right? See, if I click this button, something has to happen. Some event has to be raised. Okay, at least that's the usage of button, right? So how we can write a program so that if you how he can handle the events? That thing we are going to learn now. Okay, in Java programming. Of course, events are nothing but something is happened. If you tap something on your mobile phone, if you drag something on your mobile phone, if you click something on your mobile phone, something has to happen, right? That is what nothing but events. Okay, so how these things will happen? Device automatically detects something, some activities. That is, while walking, it is going to detect that you are walking. Based on that, this number of two way you can handle these events. One is device itself handles the events, or another way is by taking the input from user side, and it is going to handle that event. Okay, so device, of course, if you are doing do walking, okay, it there are numerous applications that may record how many steps you have put today in this particular period. That thing, how it is going to detect based on the movement of your mobile phone, right? Based on the movement of this phone. So every movement is an event, and based on that, some action is going to be taken, and some handler is going to record some information, and it is going to put some information into your devices, right? Like that, while driving and while tilting orientation, automatically it happens, right? Whether it may be in a portrait manner or whether it may be in a landscape manner. But just simply you tilt your mobile phone, you can see automatically detect that the mobile is tilted, so I can provide him a best view so that he can view the video or needed information in a best view, so that automatically it will change the view from a portrait to landscape or landscape to portrait. Like the device itself, it will handle the events. And the next thing is we are going to notify the Android system to do some activities, to handle some events by giving an input to by the user side. Okay. So how we can handle the events? There is a method. There is a method. Okay, for every response to a click by the user side or from the device side. Okay, that method is nothing but it is an event. Method is nothing but in your simple load. It is nothing but it's a function. Okay, there is a Java function. There is a Java function. Okay, there we are going to write the necessary code or necessary logic so that for every action, for particular action, this particular logic has to be run. Okay, that is what we are going to mention in a function, in a method. That function is nothing but event handler. All of you understood this? So this event handler is going to be triggered by a specific event. Event is nothing but you can tap on that button, or you can click on that button, or you just resize your some what we say, that zoom it, zoom out, like that. For every action that is done by this, so if you trigger some sort of action like this, a method is going to be called. That method is nothing but event handler, where within that method we are going to write some logic so that it will run according to our requirement. Okay, this is nothing but does something in response to the event. So how we can write or implement in a Java handler? Okay, there are two ways you can hand it. You can write it event handler in Java. One is by simply creating a method. Okay, simply creating a method, and that method you are going to register in a XML file. Okay, see, simply going to create means I'm going to create something called function show toast. Okay, within the show toast, I'm going to display some message. Okay, that is a particular message for this amount of time. Okay, let us write the same code here in my application. How we can do it? By using simply a method. Okay, I have a button, right? I have a button already, that is button here. Okay, so what I do is I just mention ID of this button so that I can understand what is the button name. So this is, I'm going to mention it as ID like my button. Okay, ID as my button. So whenever I'll come to know this is button unique identification is my button. Okay, so you know how to mention this. If you click on that, you will get in something called refractor. Click on that refractor also, then it will change everywhere. So the ID now is my button. See, you can see here also the ID is what? My button. See, you can see here also ID is what? My button. Okay. Now I'm going to write some code in Java. All of you understood carefully here. Simply one method I'm going to write it in Java. You know where Java file is there here in the main activity. So what is that method? The method is very simple. Okay, the method is very simple. That is, I'm writing here inside. Okay, just I'm going to write some public method. Okay, simply write public, and I don't want to return anything void. Okay, and some method. Okay, show text. My method name is show text. Okay, so if you pass argument also, you can pass it. Okay, show text. Okay, so here within view I want to mention this show text, right? So what you do is view, I'm going to view. Okay, here simply mention view. Okay, so like this you can create a method. Okay, view. Okay, there I'm going to write some method, to display. If I click on that button, it will display some information. So to display some information directly in your activity, there is an object called toast. I'm going to utilize that toast object. Okay, toast, and I will use the method called make text. Okay, make text. Okay, within that the context is very simple. This is my context. Okay, this is my context, and the information I want to enter here is hi students. Okay, the information I want to enter here is hi students. Okay, then for long period, I'm going to use it for long period. Okay, so length long. Okay, dot show, this is the way you can show some message within the Java. Okay, so I have created some message called void show text. Now I am going to register this in XML. When I click on that, it will be execute that. There are two ways I can register here. One is simply click on that button and find out any something called on click. There I have a something called on click, right? Automatically, if I see this, I will have a one more method called show text. It will show, if I create any method, it will show that message here. I can simply select here, or other way is directly add code here. The code, how can I add code here? Simply, you know, there is something called on click. Click on that, and directly you can see some method, that is select that method. Okay, so two way you can write it. Now see, initially I have not mentioned in on click, right, with method. If I select this button, you can check it out. In on click, automatically the method is selected. Two way you can write it. Okay, now I'm going to run it. Okay, terminate. So I got launch succeeded. Okay, if I click that, see some message is coming, right? Hi students, is it visible? Hi students, So if I click that, some message is displaying, some event is handling by event handler. The method is nothing but show text. Is it visible? Hi students, yes or no? Yes, right? This is how, if I click something, you can handle the method. If I click here also, I can move into some other activity, or something like I can display some information. Okay, this is one method, one way you can handle the events. This is not a standard way of handling. There is a one way we can handle in a standard manner, that is nothing but set on click listener, using that method called set on click listener. Okay, so I will explain that one also now. So all of you understood how we can write a separate method so that you can handle the event using on click? Yes, we can put, my timer is length long. Okay, I can put it for length short also. It all depends on in toast how much time it has to be looked. Yeah, I'm used here length long, that's short time. Okay, so there are numerous parameters I can pass to the make text. My context, another one is the message what I have to put, and how much time it has to be, the toast. Okay, this is a very simple way. In coming examples, we may see even complex examples. Some information I have to pass from one screen to another screen, or one information to another app, or I want to open some web pages directly if I click the button. Okay, there you will see a lot of other things, right? Got it, Manoj? Manoj? Okay, fine. This is the one way by using onClick. There is one way, one other standard way we can always try to work in that manner. That is using set onClick listener. Okay, what I do is I'm going to write. I'm going to create one more button. Okay, here I'm going to create one more button. Okay, I'm going to create one more button in the layout itself, in the linear layout. Okay, if I click this button, some information has to be come. Okay, so first thing what we have to do is I need to provide the unique identification of this button, right? Unique identification, that is ID. Okay, what I do is this is my button 2. I'm going to write it as my button 2. Okay, the unique identification for this button is my button 2. So if I click that, there is something called refractor. You have to change to refractor. Okay, now you can change in code that the button I have added here, the ID is what, my button 2. Okay, got it. Now I'm going to write some different way of handling the event. Okay, so for that case, what you have to do is, first you create one object for button. Okay, first you have to create an object for button. So I'm going to create an object that is button, and simply b2. Okay, b2 is an object name. Okay, simply b2. Okay, I have created a button. Okay, the name of an object is b2. Now within this onCreate method, I have explained everything with respect to onCreate in the previous class. Within this onCreate, okay, so here after the set content view or layout activity main, what you have to do is click enter and get the view. Okay, always whatever the component present in the XML, okay, so everything will be automatically converted into Java, and all these file actually present in the package called R. There is a package, some package. Let us see. There is something called R file. Okay, it is always present within that. Okay, within okay. Okay, forget about that. In the next class, I'll show where that file is. Now I'll come to Android itself. Okay, there is a file called R. Whatever we are going to create, automatically the Java code is generated in that file. Okay, for everything the Java file will be generated. Java code will be generated. So it means if you develop in Visual Editor also, Java code is developed. If you develop in XML also, Java code is be developed. So that's why in main activity Java, I cannot write XML here, right? I have to write everything in a Java itself. Okay, so when you create a button, okay, what I have to do is I have to get the ID of this particular button into this object. I have to get the ID of this button into this particular object. How to get an ID of this button to here? Very simple. The object name is b2. Okay, so give equal. There is a method called find view by ID. There is a method called find view by ID. Click that. Okay, so in this find view by ID, I told that everything will be converted into Java. That Java actually file is nothing but R. Okay, and I need ID of that button. ID. Okay, what is that ID I have given? My button 2, right? My button 2. Okay, now I got the ID of that button. Okay, and now I got the ID of that button. Next thing is, once I have created the ID of that button, now I want to use one function called set on click listener. Okay, set what? On click listener. So how to write an event handler? This is another way of event handler. One more event way is I'm going to write using set on click listener. Just if I type b2 dot, the first method I'm going to you call is set on click listener. Click on the set on click listener. There, create new. Okay, so after that, view dot on click listener. Please remember view dot on click listener. If you just click on that view dot on click listener, automatically there is one method called on click that is going to be created here. Okay, so any doubt in this? Just you follow the Intellisense. Okay, don't type each and everything by your side. See, is it I am typing each and everything by my side? Is it I am typing? Yes. So see, find view ID won't convert XML ID to Java. Actually, Yashashwini, when you create itself, automatically the handwrite will generate a Java code for that. That is present in a file called R. Okay, there your ID is always represented in a variable called ID. So I am just getting that hard.id through the package name or the file name called R. Okay, this function is not actually converting XML to Java, but automatically your Android already converted XML to Java. What I am doing is I am getting that ID, my button 2, through this function into this object. This is what find view by ID is doing. Got it, Yashashwini? Yes. Okay. Now, please remember, I am not typing each and everything by my side, right? I am just following Intellisense of Android Studio. So if you know program well, don't type each and everything. You just type the starting letter of anything you require. See, again, I will do the same thing. Check it out. Again, I will do the same thing. You may understand. See, my object, I want to register with set on click, right? After B2, I just click the dot button. It recommends me what are the methods I can use along with B2, right? I need set on click listener. Click on the first method. Okay, click on the first method, and you must know what parameter you have to pass. Here I am going to pass one more object called new view dot on click listener. View dot on click listener. Okay, Haraf, you got it? Just click on that view dot on click listener. Automatically, the necessary code you need for your button in order to register the events, it is generated. Okay, so what I do is I will write the same toast again here to display some information. If I click that button, and you know how to do that. So I have a method called make test, and 3 parameters I have to pass to this method. One is set on click listener. What is that first method? Set one minute. Get okay, first thing is get application context. Here my context is within this context, that's why I'm getting the first is I have to get the application context. Okay, next is the message I want to put. So message is I'm going to put, hi student, this is my second button. This is my second button. Okay, and so this should be always within double quotes. Sorry, within double quotes it should be. Otherwise, since I told that Java is an interpreter, I can see the errors here itself. Okay. Next is how much time, for short time or long time. Don't type toast, text, anything, context. If you pass the actual parameter, automatically it only identify what you are going to pass here. Okay. For long time, I want to put just typing length long, automatically the toast is coming along with this. Okay. After that, the message method name is show. Okay. I'm going to put semicolon. Semicolon means end of the line. See, if you are getting any red line within this file, it means that you have an error. See, if I'm not mentioning this semicolon, you can check it out. I have an underlined red line within this, right? It means that I have an error. Yes. What actually get application context will do? See, since I have to show where the scope is actually. The scope is local or the scope is somewhere else. Okay, Sarah, the scope, since everything is local in my case, this application context is going to bring the local scope into your application. Okay, your way you want to put some messages here in this application only, not in somewhere else, or not in some other activity. Okay, that is what it is doing. Get application context. Where you want to put? Okay. Okay. So now I don't have any error. What I do is I'm going to run this application. So terminate. You know, if I click this is my first button, I get I student. If I click this, see, I got one more message, I student, this is second button. Got it? I students, this is second. Two way you can handle the events. One is by just creating a method. Another way is by creating a method called setOnClickListener. If you create setOnClickListener, you don't register anything in the XML file. If you just write down the method, then you have to register the method in a XML file in a parent attribute called onClick. See, in this button, I have not registered anything in this onClick, right? But in this button, I have registered something in this onClick. Okay. So the only way is either you can write the event handler in a separate method, or by using Java help, that is through setOnClickListener. All of you understood this event handling things? All of you understood?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts? It is not difficult, right? Okay, fine. So that's what with respect to this event handler. The same thing I have written here. Okay. So these are some resources you can utilize in order to learn some more information. Let us go to text and scrolling views. I already explained this thing. Okay, the same thing. Scroll view means what? See, I can put within that I may have how many layouts. With demo only I have explained everything. Okay. Don't say this. So next is activities and intents. Okay, activities and intents. Is it my presentation is visible?
Visible,
My
sir.
presentation visible, right? Okay, next thing is, see, if you open any application in your mobile, any application, so everything is an activity. See, if I open anything, see, this is also an activity, which is an home screen that may consist of numerous other activities. That is widgets. One widget is with respect to weather reporting in present situation. Another widget is another thing is the other application icons itself within my home screen. Home screen itself an activity. Okay, if I click on any activity like messaging, Okay, this is also another activity that may consist of numerous activities within that. Okay, I have a this is my first opening page of this activity. So, and if I click something here, it will create one more activity, every pages that comes in your application, each pages represents the separate activities in your application. All of you got this? What actually activities means? See, in my case, I have only one page, right? In my application, I have only one page. See, you can check it out. Only one page. I may create any number of pages here with respect to user interface, and I may create any number of Java pages also with respect to each and every activity. Okay, so each and every will do their separate requirement works. Okay, as you see here, if I click go to the back, I will come to the previous activity. If I click on this particular, I will go to another activity. So that is what event is handled, and it will move to the some other activity. If I type something here, and if find some group information, keyboard, everything, the keyboard itself and separate activity. Okay, so activities are nothing but it is an application component. It is an application component, as I told that even home screen itself an application component. Some I have created whatever it is an application component. Each component represent one window or one page or one hierarchy of views that may consist of numerous views each. So as I told that here in my home screen, okay, that consists of numerous views. Okay, the icons itself are views. Here also one view, something like that. Okay, if it comes to text, here also I have a numerous views. Each window represents, see, I have a something called text which have a image here, and I have some text view here. So this is one layout, and that layout consists of few views, and I have one more view, that is text view, and one more thing that is called button. Each window represents a hierarchy of views. Okay, hierarchy of typically fills the screen but can embed in another activity or appear in floating windows. So each activity typically in Java, typically nothing but it is a Java class. Okay, each activity in one file is typically is nothing but it's a Java class. See, you can check it out. So for this page, I have separate Java class. That is, Java is nothing but main activity.java. See, main activity.java. Java itself is a separate class. See, you can see my class name is what? Main activity here. Each activity represents the Java class. With respect to this user interface, my activity name is nothing but main activity. The class name is nothing but main activity. Okay. So what does activity do? It represents an activity such as ordering groceries, sending an email, getting directions in your Google Map, or watching video in YouTube, or posting some images in your Instagram. Okay, each and everything is actually represent in your application, mobile application represents an activity. So what activity will do? It handles the user interaction such as button clicks, text entries, login verification, etc., etc., adding image to your Instagram, posting some important images or some location information in WhatsApp. Okay, or sharing some of your friends with the present activity in Facebook. Each things are nothing but user interaction that can be actually added in an activity by doing something called button clicks, or opening something, or entering some text, or verification of your login information, anything. Okay, even activity can even start other activities also in same or other apps. See, just by clicking that, I can open one web page in other browser also. See, I am in home screen. This is an activity. Okay, this is an activity. See, I can just by clicking this, I can open another app, then another activity that is called Chrome. Okay, that is called Chrome. Okay, so here if I can do activity within this app itself, or I can, by clicking that, I can open some other activities also. See, doing an activity is nothing but see, if I do something within the if I enter some information here, so the activity returns into the same page itself. Okay, same app only. the activity move from one page to another page or another activity within the same app, or by clicking like this, it will move to the other app also. Okay. So activities will have separate life cycle when it is going to be created. See, if I click on this activity, it is going to be created. Okay. If I search on this, search Android. Okay. If I search Android, now activity will move from one page to another page. Now activity is moved from one page to another page. Let us add some information here. Car. Okay, now it is moved to different pages, right? So it is nothing but, so yes, we know that it will have its separate life cycle. First page was previously created page. Okay, that was created. Now if I do some activity with my if I do enter some user interaction with my activity, it is moved to the some other activity, right? So now that previous activity is either destroyed or either paused. Okay, either stopped its working and it is wait to complete other activities to come back, right? So it will have its separate life cycle. One is, there are four parts in the activities life cycle. One is when it is going to create, when it is going to stop, or when it is going to pause, or when it is going to destroy. Okay, so it don't mean that if I move from one activity to another activity, it is destroyed. Okay, see, I can go back into the previous activity simply by clicking back button here. Simply by clicking back button. Okay, whenever there are activity pages opened, the activities always follows the stack level structure. You know, all of you, what is stack level structure? What is stack means? You're all aware, right? What is stack means? Yes, last in first out. Very good, Manoj. Last in first out. So if I do any entry, if I click something, do any entry here, so the page will be moved to other page, right? So the previous page actually stored in a stack-like structure. So once you destroy this activity, then only you can destroy the previous activity. Okay, you cannot directly destroy the last activity and this activity you can work with. Okay, it is always maintained like last in first out. Whatever last it has come, if you destroy, then only you can go back and you can destroy the previous activity. Okay, so how we can move to back to the previous activity? Very simple. In Google provides a button called back here. In this side also, in every application context, we have some button in the back here. Or here in operating system also, we have provided a back button. Simply clicking on this back, you can move back into the previous activities. Okay, so that's what every activities will have a separate life cycle. When it is going to create it, when it is going to start it, and when it is going to pause, or when it is going to resume, and when it is going to destroy. Okay, so this complete life cycle we are going to study in the next class. Okay, some of the examples as I explained already. So activities are loosely typed together to make an app. So you're all understood why activities are very important. So you may have a numerous activities, numerous pages. They are actually tied together, right? See, in this app only, in Google, if I type something searched here, it will move to the another page, and actually it depends on the previous page only. They are tied together. Okay, so the complete activity pages completely makes one app called Google Chrome here, right? The first activity users is typically called main activity. That's why normally in an application when I built it, this name is a main activity. You can check it out in manifest. In activity, see, in manifest, whenever you create any activity, this complete XML code is generated here. This complete XML code generated. Normally, what are the important things with respect to your activity? So the important thing is, what is your activity name? What is your activity name? So my activity name is what? Main activity. My activity's name is what? pin. Along with activity, we have one more important thing is called intent filter. Normally, we have two important configuration things with respect to intent filter. One is action, another one is category. Okay, one is action, another one is category. Action is always either main or not. Main action or not. Okay, category is always, is it a launcher activity or not? Okay, category is what? It is a launcher activity or not. So the value you have to pass for action is main. Okay, the category is launcher. Okay, if it is not a launcher, see, I will show, I will create what? One more activity here. Directly, automatically the manifest file will be generated. How to create one more activity? Simply go to Java here. Okay, simply go to Java here. Okay, so you do one thing in this folder. What you have to do is, see where the in the com.infecloud.first tab, my Java application folder is there, right? In this folder, in the top of that folder, right click on that, you may find something called new. Okay, go to new. There you have to create an activity, select the activity. There you may come across, as it is like in the initial cases when we are creating our application, we have some already existing lot of coded activities present here. I just need one more empty activity. Click that empty activity, give a name to empty activity. I'm giving main activity 2 as a name. Okay, and the layout is going to be generated as activity main 2. Initially, for my first activity, the layout generated as activity. Every activity comes with a Java file and a layout file. Okay, Java file and a layout file. Okay, every activity comes with two important things. If you don't need a layout file, you can disable this, but I need a layout file because as activities actually represents a separate window, right? So I need a layout file. Okay, just click finish here. So automatically one more Java file is created, that is main activity 2. Okay, main activity 2, and as I told that each activity represents the class name. And what is my class name of my second activity? This is main activity 2. Okay, and as I told that if you create any activity, automatically the layout file also generated. My new layout file is generated as activity main x2, where we are going to put our user interface elements here. Okay, user interface elements here. Now I'll come to here, main activity. So I have initially one activity, another one is main activity. Whenever you create any activities, of course, we are going to record that in Android.manifest. Okay, every time you need not to record it as a record by yourself. I already told that Android Studio also do it by own. Okay, everything it co-generate, it will generate some automatic code. It helps us for a developers. Okay, see, I have two activities here. What is my activity name? One is main activity 2, another one is main activity. Okay, and I don't have intent filter for the second activity because I am not doing any action or category. It is not my launcher application, right? Suppose what I do is, if I make it as a main activity, initially it is not a main activity, right? What I do is, I'll just go to it here. Okay, I'll just go to here. I can change the properties here. What I do is, okay, instead of that, I will change the code here itself. I will copy this thing, the intent filter. I will copy this thing, the intent filter. I'm going to cut it here and I'm going to paste it here. Okay, now you may see that when I launch this app, this is not the main activity it is going to run. The main activity is the second activity what I'm created. Let us run this, we'll understand. Instead of getting the button and all, I will get some other application. Some page that is a blank page, which is a main activity 2. See, I got blank page, right? Because I made my second activity, which is created as a launcher activity. This is the main. That's why it is coming. So suppose if I just keep it as it is in the previous case, right? What I do is, I'll redo it, undo it. Okay, now I run. Now I will run. And second activity is now. It is not a main activity. You can see. You can check it out. The app it is going to be open as see the first activity file. Got it? How you can create an activity? All of you understood? Yes or no? How to create an activity? Yes, very good, very good. So this is how you can create an activity. Whenever you create it, you have to add the relationship in a Android manifest file. So I showed how to do that. Typically, you can create activity. Always activity have three important things. One is a UI layout where we are going to use Visual Editor to add the components. Another one is an XML file that is activity underscore main.xml. Okay, and one more is Java file. It is going to create it. Okay. How to implement, as we know that every activity it defines an XML file, and it is nothing but it's an activity Java class, and always inherits app compat activity class, because we know why we are going to inherit that app compat activity. See, if you go to new activities also, it is inherit the app compat activity, because this is the class. It tells that your application even works with the devices which will have a older version of Android also, or your application works with respect to the latest available API packages. Okay. So if you just select this, you can see what is the usage of this base class of activity that wish to use some of the new platform features on older Android devices. Some of these backported features include what are the include Madukutte OSA devices. You can check it out here. Okay. So next is one more thing. Everything is created with one more activity called Uncreate, which is acts as a entry part. Whenever you create an activity, okay, this always your activity will be connected to your layout through Uncreate function. See, so that's why, as I already told, that each layout will automatically, even though it is an XML file, it is automatically converted into a Java class which is stored in a R file. Okay, since this Java class is nothing but layout, okay, I'm going to get that layout into my content view in a function called onCreate. Okay, so similar like find view by ID, where r.id dot some name of a button ID what you have given. This is an unique identification of your second layout. Okay, and it is generated as a Java class which is stored in a file called R. Okay, so actually I'm not finding that R file here. You can see what are the things happens in R file. Okay, in the next class I will show that R file. It will be helpful for you. Okay, so declare the activity in Android manifest. I will show how to do that. Okay, this is how you can declare the layouts things. Okay, these are all comes already. See, as I already said, this is the name given in the XML file, and it is generated as a Java class. And to resource that, it is always present in a file called resource in the form of layout. Layout is a separate class. Okay, so that's how. Next class we'll learn about intents and how we can pass a message from one activity to another activity. So how intents, which is act as a message objects, you can utilize here in order to pass information from one activity to another, or in order to send some information explicitly or implicitly, that we are going to learn in the next class. So all of you understood whatever I have explained today? Okay, no doubts, right? Okay, fine, then thank you all. And I'm going to download the attendance now. This is the today's class list. Okay, I got the today's class list. You can check it out. These are all the students present today. Everybody come. Okay, fine. I have a complete list here. Your times of attending also have here. Okay. Then you have. Thank you all, and that's all with you today's class. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Narada. Yeah, you can leave now.